Peace and blessings, beautiful people. It is Friday, and so you know what that means. It's Free Game Friday time here with me, Candace, Doc C, your WCE wellness coach extraordinaire. La la. So let's get into it. Today's free game is follow the fire. So you've heard the phrase, you don't want this smoke, you don't want, all the smoke, I'm bringing all the smoke. We've all heard it, maybe even said it. Now, you've probably also heard the phrase, where there is smoke, there is fire. So I want to talk about that part of the phrase, where there's smoke, there's fire. Let's talk about fire today. We'll talk about smoke next week, so definitely come back for that, okay? So, why talk about fire? Well, if you watch the news worth anything, you've seen the California fires. You've seen how it has ravaged the Pacific Northwest, or a few years ago, how it was just a major conversation and a major concern for the country of Australia, and how the fires were just raging. They couldn't get them under control. And so you may, in your mind's eye, have this perception of fire being this terrible, destructive, life-altering thing. But I want to talk to you about the benefits of fire today. All right, you ready? Let's get into it. So, qualities of fire, benefits of fire, light. So before we had electricity, we had candles. You had torches. We used fire to light the way. It illuminates. So you also have the heat that comes from the fire. So before we had central air and heat, before we necessarily had gas appliances that could generate heat, we had fire to keep us warm. And so there's purpose in fire when it's in the correct context, when it's in the correct environment. It's when fire is out of control, that is uncontrolled, that there's a problem. So I did a little bit more digging, and I found out some things about fire that you might find interesting, because I certainly did. Did you know that, me being from Mississippi, I've seen it before, but I didn't understand the rationale behind it. If you've ever seen fields being burned, seeing things on fire, you're like, somebody need to go and take care of that. Oh my God, it's fire, it's fire. There's actually a purpose for that. And one of the benefits of burning, even in a forest, it's a good thing. And that's because it creates space. So the undergrowth, the things that are at the bottom, thickets, shrubs, other vegetation, it clears that out and it allows space and creates room for the mature trees to be nourished, because they actually have to fight for nutrition, for water, with these other things that are crowding the bottom. So it creates space so that those mature trees can continue to thrive. The other thing is, with fire, the ash that's created from it takes all of the nutrients that were up and around and actually deposits them into the soil. So things like nitrogen, phosphorus, and even calcium get redeposited into the soil, where the strong things, where the good things are already planted, and again, feeds them. The other thing is, it kills pests. It kills the robbers of life in the forest. So the insects are gone, they get burned up if they can't fly away. And again, these like weeds and thickets and things that are robbing that the forest floor of what it needs, eliminated. Another interesting thing I found out is that some trees actually need fire in order to regenerate. Like, their bark is already designed to actually handle the fire. There's a word in there. Their bark is actually designed to withstand fire, and Their seeding process, them releasing seeds, is actually tied to a certain temperature. It's tied to being exposed to fire for them to release the seeds. So if there's never fire, those trees become extinct because they never regenerate. They never have enough of a catalyst to release their seeds to procreate. Again, noticing a word in there. So you may be like me and be like, well, man, I don't want to face the fire. I don't want to be in the fire. Let's talk about another benefit. Have you ever heard they left behind nothing but scorched earth? Guess what? Charred earth, that black hue to the earth, actually draws in more sunlight. And by absorbing more sunlight, it keeps the soil warmer, which allows the seeds that are deposited in it to germinate faster. So those fields that you may have seen that have been burned, and you're like, oh no, that's terrible. That was on purpose. That is so that they could get a jump start on germination and seeding and flourishing. So they've done the research. Controlled charred fields yield faster and better than those that haven't been exposed to that. Who knew, right? Who knew? So here's the thing. Maybe like myself, you've avoided fire in your life. Like, I can't stand the heat. I don't want to be under the fire anymore. Why am I being tested? Why am I being roasted like this? Why does this keep happening? And it may be that you need that to activate you. You need that to nourish you. You need that to clear out the debris, the hangers on, the negativity, the stuff that maybe you never even noticed was possibly holding you back. You need, I need, we need the fire. And here's the other thing. Fire ignites. So if you are looking to be ignited, the way to be ignited is to be in contact with fire. So who in your life ignites you? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a family friend? Do you have family? Do you have a coach that ignites you, that sparks your flame, which when you do that with a candle, you don't extinguish this candle by lighting this one. If anything, if you hold them together, the flame is bigger, right? Who do you have that is setting you afire so that you can be light, so that you can be warm, so that you can light somebody else? Like, when you think of it from that perspective, who wouldn't want to be a fire, you know? So the invitation today, the free game, is think about fire. Where there have been fires in your life where possibly it looked like there was nothing but scorched earth, but from that arose your purpose, your business, your great relationship that you have now because of the scorched earth that was left behind from a not so great relationship. Think about that, but also think about what has you lit up right now. Because I can tell you, it has been one of the greatest joys of my life to see the people that I serve, the people I work with, my friends, but also my clients, to see them on fire, to see them take an idea, a concept, or a desire that they had when they began the coaching programs that we've gone through together, and just take off with it. Make it their own and really embrace where it is that they are, but also knowing how they're going to get there. So if you need someone to help you spark your fire, that will tend the flames with you to make sure that it's not out of control, I may be your person. So hit me up on Instagram and let's have a conversation, all right? Peace.